Welcome back to Artists on Artists on Artists on Artists. And boy, do we have something sweet.
The city of Los Angeles has been around for over 500 years. It is full of stores and shops, and most importantly, locals, some of the entertainment industry, and a couple not, who love to look at the city as it grows and evolves throughout time.
We go on the road with 4 people who've been on the industry forever as they show us how our city has changed.
Buckle up, listen in. Let's go, Hollywood.
Well, that's different.
Yeah, that feels different.
What are you looking at? What's different? What changed?
This
What building?
U-Haul building.
Did you haul which one over there?
U-Haul building up by, where are we? We're on Sunset.
This is Sunset and what is this, Virgil?
This is Sunset and Sunset.
Sunset
This
and
is Sunset. This is,
Oh.
for those of you who haven't been to Los Angeles, this is the crazy 5-way intersection, Virgil, Fountain, Hillhurst, Hollywood, Sunset.
The city changes. The city goes through its differences and it grows and it shrinks. It does all sorts of things.
You know, we never this whole area on the side on the left. This whole thing is different. This whole thing is different.
What, the Children's Hospital?
Yes, this whole thing. This is all different. Wait. I need to know how long people have been here. How long you've all been
Well,
here.
yes, let's go around.
Because this children's hospital, when I first moved here, I was 15 years old.
Okay.
And this children's hospital wasn't there. So that was about 30, 40 years ago.
Wow.
Interesting.
Were you guys here? When were you guys here?
Also, I'm curious as to what your guys' names are. I'm driving, so I'm just curious who my passengers are. But if you guys want me to start, my name is PJ Sampras. I am 67 years old. I grew up in Santa Monica, California, and, I've been here ever since, just living it up.
And what do you do in the industry?
Oh, I'm a driver. I'm kind of a PA, but I'm hoping to break out of it soon.
And do you remember what the hospital was when you first moved here?
Yes, the hospital on Sunset.
Oh, that space. I'm trying to remember. I think it was a garage where they used to do cars and also crap games.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, that was crazy because I remember my mom, Trisha, she used to work up here.
Oh.
Yeah, she used to work up here.
She used to drive to Los Feliz from Santa Monica.
Yeah, every day before it was a thing, you know?
Oh, well, PJ Sampras, my name is Emily Edgemont, and I am a...
Of the Edgemonts, the street.
I believe we just passed the street.
That's near the hospital I'm asking about.
Yes, I'm Emily Edgemont of the Edgemont Street, of the Edgemont Boulevard, some would say. I was an actress for many years. Some of my credits include the Lawrence Welk Show, and that's it.
What did you do on that show?
Oh, I had a quick little run-in where I was a dancer and I floated across the screen, and I did that a few times, and they brought me back a couple episodes because they really liked me, and I'm sure I have more credits. I just can't simply remember them. Oh, Will and Grace, that was a good one.
What'd
anyway,
you do on that one?
Oh, well, I played a cashier. A
Oh,
little
fun.
cute little co-star part.
Can I
really
ask a
nice.
question? Are you related to Dennis Edgemont, the prolific astronaut? The prolific builder in Los
so
Angeles that helped
prolific in his
build.
Such a prolific astronaut. Went to
He
so
saw
many
things we
spaces.
didn't
Well,
know.
you know
He was an astronaut, and he was so good at astronaut that he became an architect after.
Yes.
And he really
A
helped fund and
prophet.
build
Absolutely.
LA.
Yes, of course. That is my father, and I don't. We're not exactly on speaking terms because he died.
Oh.
But before that, we had a lovely relationship. And to answer your previous question, the Children's Hospital, when I was around, was a bowling alley.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's really so it must have gone
Wow.
Do you think it was garage bowling alley or bowling alley garage?
Well, I think now what year must that have been? I think I'm talking about the year 1978 must have been a bowling alley.
78, Yeah.
I
so-
I don't know when you were around the Children's Hospital, but I distinctly remember walking in with a bowling ball and letting her have
That's
it.
so fun because I remember
Wow.
distinctly walking in with a pair of dice, bones.
I like that we connect to the space with the props
Oh,
we brought
that's
in.
so funny.
I really love it.
Okay, well, who are you two gonzos in the back?
Oh, easy.
Gonzo.
You guys are
Easy, sir.
gonzos.
You
That was
are
an
gonzos.
LA
God.
phrase from the 60s. I
Easy,
remember.
sir.
Easy.
You can always tell an out-of-towner because they don't say gonzos, they say goodbyes.
Absolutely. I always used to say that. I know
Tourist
that.
alert.
I say gonzo because I'm from here. My name is Herky Mump. I'm Herky Mump.
Well, how do you do, Herky?
How you do, Herky? What's up?
Hey, everyone.
Good to see you, Herky Mom.
Great to see everybody.
Mr. Mom.
My name is Herky Mump. You can call me Herc.
Mr. Mom.
Or Mr. Mump if you're nasty. Just kidding. That's a Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson came into my bar in 1997.
Oh, what's your
What's
bar?
your bar, Herky?
I used to own a bar in West Adams called the Stink Spot. And
The stink spot. Okay.
we were the hottest bar. Sorry, I think there's a big machine behind us.
You know, that didn't used to be a machine. That used to be a horse-drawn wagon.
And
Yeah.
I remember
then a
just minutes
trolley.
ago, there didn't used to be a big machine behind us while we were driving. This city has changed. I used to own a bar called the Stink Spot. It was a really fun bar that was open from 1971 all the way until 1973. And since then, I've just been really soaking up the city and getting to know it and having fun.
Is
and
the bar space still there? Or
the bar space, unfortunately, like most things, has been turned into a condominium. Boo!
Oh,
Boo!
Boo,
we
yeah.
hate a
Oh, Herb,
condominium.
Herb.
We really do.
Boo.
Oh, my.
I
Now,
know.
why? Can I ask you why your bar closed?
Yes,
Why bar
roaches.
Oh,
Oh, roaches.
Now that's the difference. In the
Did they
70s,
eat your
people
money?
weren't afraid to be roaches.
Oh, yeah.
No.
And now all we have is ants.
People weren't afraid to be roaches.
They had integrity.
But I'm so old. I'm 76 years old.
Wow.
I'm so old.
Wow.
First of all, I'm so old. PJ has me in a car seat back here. Second of all,
That's
I just wanted
that's
to keep
because
your
you're such a
boat
little
safe,
man.
little old
I
man.
shrunk. I've been shrinking. They don't warn you about all
People
the
don't
shrinking.
shrink like they used to.
They do.
I
Used
do.
to have
They had
integrity.
integrity.
No, he does.
I'm shrinking
They
like
had-
the
Because
best
you're
of
an
them.
old soul, I
I'm-
tell you
I'm
that.
They had
shrinking
fucking
like-
guts.
I'm shrinking like Jimmy Cagney over here.
You're shrinking from the inside out.
They had motherfucking
Well,
guts.
I was a valley boy. I grew up in
Oh.
Agora Hills.
Wow.
Oh.
Absolutely. So I'm not an out of towner. We're just over the
Oh.
hill.
Well,
Pre-Kardashians.
well,
those
it's
people.
kind of not L.A. So
Who's What's he?
Well, you know how our
Wow,
city
you're going
changed.
after Agora Hills there. Good thing Herky didn't hear you.
Yeah,
Those
they
are
were
fighting
chatting in
words.
the back.
What did you say?
No, nothing. It's fine.
She was saying something about a car. Who's he? What's he?
I'm saying Agora Hills is more Malibu than anything.
Oh, really?
Thousand Oaks.
Yeah. Well, here's
Yeah,
the thing.
what do you
Who's
mean?
the fourth person in this
Okay,
car?
well, my name.
Oh,
My
and
name.
then I have to say
Oh, Herb.
that hospital,
Oh, yes.
for me, when I knew it, it used to be a discotheque.
What years
I
were
just
that?
check. What year was that?
That must have been nay high 72.
The year of the roaches.
And what did you say
Where
there?
the
When
roaches?
when did you say it was a bowling alley? 73?
You know, I can't quite remember. It must have
I
been
think you said
1973.
So something happened. in
You
that
know, I
year.
do remember a couple times when I was at the bowling alley with my bowling ball, a couple of disco fellas would walk in.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Head to toe, disco pantsuits, real confused, and then they
Oh,
turn
head to
around.
You know
No.
what they say? I will, because I have been in the business of owning buildings, and there's a little thing they say: disco to bowling, now you're rolling. Bowling to disco, that's a little
That's
more
a-
difficult.
In
you
my
got
parts, they
roaches.
say go back to Frisco. Go back to upstairs, out of
Oh,
towner.
yeah. That's not LA. That is
Oh,
not
real
LA.
quickly, this This
Yes.
Viacom building used to be the Sherman Oaks Mall.
Wow. Wow, on Sunset. That's insane.
Used to be a
I remember
Galleria.
that.
Now, who's this stranger sitting next to me?
Who's this
Oh, it's
for?
my stranger time. Hi, guys. My name is Dot CPK.
Now is that .cpk or is that .cpk?
Is that the name or the end of a website?
Dorothy.
My
Dorothy
name is
is
Dottie. Dottie. My father used to call me Dottie.
Okay.
And then I have the last name CPK. And we changed my father built the revolutionary California Pizza Kitchen.
Royalty.
Wow.
And
We're
yes,
sitting amongst
and we've put them all around the city. I'm grateful for the work my father did with the barbecue chicken salad.
Well, I had no idea I was sitting in a car with Little Italy over here.
Little California Italy to you, Mrs.
Oh, I rest my case.
Wow. Can I just say, we are just passing through some historic parts of old
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, really
I'll
quickly,
tell
what
you
was
what
the
I think the
what was
hospital
the
is.
children's hospital for you?
I was gonna say, PJ, you and Dottie seem to have a little bit of beef before we even got in here.
No.
I remember you from the speakeasies.
I remember you from the speakeasies. Let's just say we have a little bit of history.
The speakeasies in the 70s and 80s.
Dottie, how old are you?
That's for you to guess and me to find out.
Okay, so the speakeasies.
I'll tell you, the speakeasies, I was 16, 17, and that was about in, what did I say? It must have been, 74, 75?
Right, because that was the year that LA went dry. We were a dry campus.
It was a year.
Campus. UCLA spread around, and they just made all of LA a
All the
campus.
business owners, I bet that's why your bar closed.
Yeah, what do you think happened to the stink spot other than the roaches? What did you think the hospital was?
Well, the hospital last time I saw the hospital, 1974, it was a chapel.
Okay.
It was a chapel.
74.
So my guess it
It was
was,
74.
I'm guessing just putting it together, because I was about 8 or 9 going to my mom when I would go to the craps. So I'm guessing in 66 it was a garage where they play craps, and
Sure.
then it jumped from a discotheque to a bowling alley to a
Chapel.
chapel.
And now what it is today, the Children's Hospital.
Does anyone else, we've seen it go through so much. Is anyone else worried they're just going to change it overnight and all those poor sick people are going to have to move?
Well, I hope
Yeah.
those poor people can have some discotheque before they go.
What happens when they want to change it into an EDM factory and all those kids have to walk out with their IVs?
They turn it into some sort of ketamine igloo.
Oh my God!
To make room.
if I had a nickel for every ketamine igloo I find in this city these days, I try to find a goddamn farmer's market, and there I walk into a ketamine igloo again.
Oh my
Speaking of ketamine igloos,
Where are you going?
this Chick-fil-A
Mm.
used to be a meth parlor.
Well, this is really interesting because we are at a notorious Sunset and Highland district.
Oh, the stories I could tell
the
about
stories.
this district. We have to go through Hollywood and Highland, by the way.
Yes,
We
yes,
have
I'm
to- we
trying.
have
Merge,
to go
merge,
on.
merge. Hey,
I'm
help
trying,
him,
I'm
help
trying.
him merge.
Oh my God, I'm
you
trying.
know,
I'm trying.
Fun
Thank
fact.
We're merging.
That's how we used to do it in the old days. Just tell them you're doing it.
You didn't need a blinker back then.
You would
Why
just
would you
yell.
need to show it when you can say it? Say, don't tell.
We had
That's what I
integrity
think.
back then.
See, this
We were
area,
soldiers on the road.
this area brings back a lot of memories for me. This is Hollywood High.
Oh, was anyone a fighting Hollywood High boy? Isn't that the mascot?
I think it was
The
a
fighting
fighting
I think
boy.
it is. I think it's the
You know,
Fighting
that's
Hollywood
Fighting
High
Boys.
Boys.
No, that's what it
Fighting
was
boy.
back in the 90s. Now it's a fighting Hollywood High person.
Oh, boo!
Oh, Herb, don't boo that. The person's good.
Okay.
But I remember
Well-
the Fighting Boys and the little mascot they had for the Fighting Boys.
I loved a little fighting boy mascot.
Yeah, and they shot at Hollywood High. They shot Star Wars here.
Really?
They
don't
did.
think that's
It's
true.
Really?
It's true. All those Death Star shots right there on the PE
What?
courts.
That's
Oh
a good
my
question
God.
for us all. What is the craziest part of LA you've seen that has been filmed and changed over to something else? I'll go first. I saw them make the hotel cafe a Starbucks for a film once.
That's the craziest thing.
What film was that?
and I
the
thought-
Intern?
Simply
And I
blew
thought
my mind.
I thought movie magic.
I'm sorry, that's the craziest one you saw. Hotel Cafe turned into
Yes.
a Starbucks.
They turned a place already called cafe.
I'm with you, Dotsy, because I think the fact that Starbucks are here at all is crazy.
Absolutely.
Does
I
everyone-
remember when this city had
It didn't
integrity.
used
I
to be
remember when
this
there
way.
wasn't a single
Was
Starbucks.
this an Amber Alert?
Oh, I'm missing.
They didn't
Oh.
used to have
Silver
these.
alert.
Everyone,
Missing endangered
listen.
elderly. They might be onto us.
Oh no!
Oh, no,
Okay,
turn
is,
it off.
is it one of us in this
Okay.
car? Is it
Turn
one
it
of us?
all right. So this is our car.
Did everybody tell who they needed to tell that they were gone?
I didn't tell my caretaker I drugged her.
Well, I told
I drugged her in an avocado roll.
you put her in an avocado roll.
No, I gave her an avocado roll from CPK, and I drugged her.
Didn't know they were
Get out of
dipping into
class.
sushi. I didn't know they were dipping into sushi now.
Well, I told my daughter, I said, I'm not coming back. And she didn't listen until I left the house, and I said the rest of the sentence was until later.
I did notice while we were recording that I accidentally sat on the wrong button on my Firefly. Oh, it's going again.
Oh, here we go.
So, yes.
One of us.
My sister-in-law is probably looking for me. She's in charge of me. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, let me just get this.
Is it crazy
Oh, the
for me to say?
Ripley's?
Oh, look at this Ripley's Believe
Wow,
It or Not.
so this is really interesting. This Ripley's Believe It or Not is one of the oldest buildings in Los Angeles. Hasn't changed since 1494.
No, it has changed because do you guys
Oh,
remember?
okay.
No.
Do you remember up until 1952? It used to just be called Ripley's Don't Believe It.
Oh, that's
yes,
right.
and I would go there for a hamburger.
Yes.
And now we're in a...
One of the best burgers in Los Angeles was Ripley's Don't Believe It. And I
What
wouldn't.
have you
I
had the
wouldn't
Ripley's
believe it.
Don't Beef It? That was
Oh.
a vegetarian option. It was really, really
Oh.
good.
Well, now everywhere you go, you get this impossible burger. And I said, do I believe it or don't I believe it?
And do you?
I don't know. Anyway, I remember these. I remember this.
Well,
and,
this
now,
really-
and now it's a museum. Am I correct?
It's a museum full
Yeah.
of all sorts of weird-looking things. And it's very interesting. I went there with my sister-in-law.
Oh, my God.
Continue. You married.
And what happened?
Yes, I'm married. My sister-in-law, she had some time to kill before a doctor's appointment, and we were in the area, so we decided to walk around.
You're going to the doctor's appointment with your sister-in-law. That's
Oh,
so
you
sweet.
went to a
No,
doctor's
no,
appointment
no,
on Hollywood
no,
and
no.
Highland?
No, you've got it all wrong. She was going to a doctor's appointment, and I was already in the car.
Where was
You
your
just couldn't
doctor's
get out of the
appointment?
car seat. I get it.
Because wow, this area must have changed because there must have been a hospital here back in the 70s.
Or a
Now
doctor or
it's
something.
the Capital One Cafe.
No, the hospital was by the Ghirardelli chocolate shop.
Oh,
now
right.
over
That was
here.
Dr. Bagoof.
This
El
El-
Capitan. El
Well, the
Capitan.
Apicab.
El Capitan!
What did it used to be? What did it used
It used
to
to
be?
be a place called the Captain.
the captain. Well, I slept with the captain
Oh.
of the El Capitan.
No.
Well, okay, this is one of my favorite parts of LA, too. I love the Roosevelt Hotel.
Oh,
This,
does anyone have any spooky
that's
stories?
exactly
Oh,
why I love
very
it.
good.
That's
Have you had
exactly
any?
why I love
You
it.
know they say Lady Marilyn
Yeah.
haunts the area.
Well, no, yeah, there's more than just one
Lady
ghost.
Marilyn.
I heard she haunts Echo Park.
Really?
I've heard that, too. She hangs out at the Lassens in Echo
Right,
Park.
but then they changed it. They moved her ghost because this city.
I
The
used to get
city
my
changes
Prozac
those.
at that Lassens,
Really?
and that's crazy.
That was
Marilyn
in this
Monroe.
city. That was so interesting. Lassens didn't used to be a whole, Whole Foods grocery store. It used to be a very, very kind of intense pharmacy.
You get their lobotomy back then. You could go anywhere.
Right, it's where you sent your wives when they weren't good.
We arranged for Marilyn to come by the stink spot once as a ghost.
Oh, did you
Really?
arrange it?
We talked to some people and they said she's coming by tonight.
Wow.
And you could tell because the vent shot up in everyone's dresses.
Look at that. And there must have
Did
been
you
roaches
organize
everywhere.
that, you rascal Hurricane?
I might have organized that.
Oh, wow. Now, we passed Madame Tussauds. Do you guys remember what that area used to be?
That used to be, I believe, it used to be just an open field.
Well, yeah, I remember.
Where you
they
can go
used to
throw a
do-
ball.
Right, because
Yes.
you can't count cows in Hollywood anymore, and you
you
used
can't.
to be able to count them.
I miss being able to throw balls around Hollywood.
No, I remember
Throw
that.
a ball,
so
play
fun.
catch.
Because West Hollywood used to be just a big dairy farm.
It did. It did.
Yes, you know, movies could be written over a game of catch.
You know?
Continue.
Yeah, what do you mean?
That's how real men wrote movies, with their hands.
Right, with their hands. Field of Dreams.
Yes.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Spaceballs.
Shoot.
What do you guys think your favorite decade of LA architecture was?
Oh.
You know, because we've had, cycles on cycles in this city of just like really fun stuff. You know?
I gotta say, my favorite architecture style in all the world is Burbank in the 90s. All the buildings were gray and cottage cheese, and nary a soul cared about how things looked. And
Oh.
that's what we gotta get back to.
And
You're
I will
so
say
right,
I
it was
love
sexy.
Burbank because it really hasn't changed much since that 90s. You know,
It's
it's
a time
It's
capsule.
a time capsule, and I was a little older in the 90s, but it doesn't mean I wasn't throwing that thing around, you know what I mean?
Amen to that.
oh wow. Where were you going?
I was going to Milton Edie's and throwing it around, throwing that thing back next to the popcorn machine. Those were the days. You can't do that in Milton Edie's anymore. They don't let you.
Well, that was when Priscilla of Priscilla's was alive.
Oh, I loved Priscilla. She was so
Oh.
feisty.
She was
Bless her
a
soul.
minx.
She'd come into CPK all the time.
Who do you miss the most out of the people that there are buildings named after, who are dead now? Who do you, in the city of LA, who do you all miss the most?
I'd have to say El Capitan, because that dong of his was big.
Mm.
I'd
I
probably-
heard.
You know who I miss? Henry Arclight.
Oh, yes.
That's crazy.
And that man was a reliable man.
He was so kind, always giving treats away to the birds. You can't do that to birds
It
anymore.
was so nice that they built that giant dome in honor of his passing. I thought that was really sweet of the Arclight family to do.
Marv, who do you
I
miss?
heard that's his tomb.
Yes, they
No.
they buried
Yeah.
him. He was still alive, but he was going quick. So they put him in the
Some
ground and
say.
started burying the dome because they wanted it done.
If
know?
you hear film crackle during the film screenings, it's a little bit of Henry
Yep.
sitting in the urn.
You
guys know what
film crackle is.
You know when you hear film
Oh,
crackle?
honey, I lived it.
I've got to say my favorite dead name is the person who it's named after is Mel from Mel's Drive-In.
I loved Mel.
Oh.
Mel was fun, and Mel always had all sorts of activities and things that you could go and play
I heard he
around.
had a wonderful coloring book for adults
He
that he
did.
would set out.
Yeah.
He didn't judge you for coloring. He never judged you for coloring. Other places, when I go to the Ivy, I'd say, "Do you have a coloring book?" They'd say, well, "How old are you?" And I'd say, "How old do I look?" They say, "70s, 80s." I said, "Yes." And this was the 80s.
Ah. You know who I miss?
Ooh,
LAX. She was
Oh.
a feisty fox.
A feisty
Dominique
fox.
LAX.
Then they stole her name and put all those planes in there. They make me
that was
sick.
one of the first, that was disgusting what they did to her. They framed her for murder and then stole her name.
Because that airport was so greedy.
It was
They
in
couldn't let
eminent
a
domain.
woman be fabulous.
It was eminent domain. They really liked her name. So
That was
framed
the
her
time
for
they
murder.
couldn't let a woman
I'm
be
afraid
fab.
that's going to happen to me someday.
Mm.
Somebody's going to walk around and say, you know, Emily Edgemont, I think me likes the name of that. I'm going to put a bunch of trains in there and send them off. Not on my watch.
Yes, you blink and then you'll be accused of murder and become a building for planes.
Not my city, I tell you that. The Laugh Factory we're passing by.
I remember that when that was just an actual factory.
Yes, I remember when it wasn't laughs.
I remember when
People were
America used to
miserable.
make things that were useful.
It
With their hands.
the chemical factory.
Yeah, a lot of burn victims.
They supplied all of LA's chemicals for years and years and years
If you
until
needed a chemical, you come straight there.
They actually say that's why they call it the laugh factory, because the chemicals leak into the audience, making it easier to laugh.
Well, which came first, the chemical leak or Dane Cook?
Absolutely. Can I tell you my favorite era of buildings?
Oh,
yeah.
Favorite decade?
Yes.
The Spanish decade. Can I say that anymore?
The
Can I
Sp-
even say that?
Don't get
Oh,
upset.
here
No,
we go.
I
We don't
think
want to
you
piss
can.
off the Gen Years.
Those Gen
Gen
Yee,
Yee.
they have these
Gen
knees.
Yee.
Oh, those knees.
Well, this is interesting. Elvis, I remember when he lived in L.A. You know, we're
Yeah,
seeing
you're-
all
you're
these.
ma-
For the
You're mentioning
listeners,
a-
we're passing a poster of Elvis.
Billboard that says Elvis.
A billboard.
Mm.
That's
I'll tell
interesting.
you, these billboards, they add more and more words.
I know. I remember when that billboard used to say "You, me, and Dupree."
Yeah,
Oh.
whatever happened?
What happened to that?
Whatever happened?
Who
Now it's
fell-
full
who fell-
frontal with Samantha Bee. Who is that?
I miss when it was you, me, and Dupree. There's
That was
just
probably
so
the
many
best era
memories.
of billboards in L.A.
You
Well-
know, I'm young enough to remember when that billboard for Hacks said American Idol.
Season 4 or season 5?
Oh, honey, you're young. Season 1.
Oh, the
Emily,
Kelly
you're
Clarkson
dating
era.
yourself. Warning, you are dating yourself.
You're dating yourself.
So tell us more about the Spanish era, because I seem to remember this is what? This was 50 to
Tell us, Aaron.
51?
I would say that. It's where all the houses pop up and it makes you feel like you're in Mallorca.
I remember that.
All the red
LA
So
was-
tiles
you're
on the-
talking about
yes.
mid-city area.
I
are
think
you?
so. We're talking about Century City.
When they started doing all those big paella.
With the yes, and
Well-
you had the white walls with the red, the stucco house on the top.
Mhm.
Right.
Mid City used to be Santa Monica.
Yes,
Let's
they
talk
moved
about
it.
They moved the middle of the city. No one talks about that.
They moved it for
And to make room for more what? Sweet green?
They moved the target. They said, "No, this isn't the middle of the city. Santa Monica is now its own city." And I said, "Well, where am I supposed to be?"
Oh, when they did that, and they changed all their stuff, and they said they wanted to have their own little Renaissance and Revolution, and they changed all their signs to blue. They changed their buses, Santa Monica. They just didn't want any more. There was like the middle child that left.
It was disgusting.
Oh,
DJ, you're-
Mel's driving. I'm going to cry.
Oh, Mel.
He was so fun.
You guys all knew Mel, too?
We just talked about him, dude.
Hey, dude.
Dude.
Hey, dude. Hey, dude. We just talked about
I
it, dude.
talked about him, dude.
You guys all knew Mel?
It's fun.
We just talked about the coloring books,
Oh,
dude.
dude.
Sorry,
dude, we
I
talked
fall
about-
asleep at the wheel.
I
all the
like
time.
that word, dude. I like that word, dude. You guys have been saying it. It's a new word
Does-
for me. I like the word
I just
dude. I remember when
picked
we
it
used
up.
to say chap or buttons.
Oh,
Mm.
buttons.
Oh, buttons.
I've just started saying dude. Does it feel natural when it comes out of my mouth?
Try it again.
You really go, dude.
Hey, listen. Hey, what's up, dude?
Yeah, you really got it in the weeds with the U.
Mm.
Yeah, I having trouble with the U sound.
Interesting.
Okay,
Uh,
we're passing a good bar, the Den.
Oh, yes.
I used that, so that was really interesting. The den used to be actually just a crocodile den. It was,
Really?
it was a promotional Crocodile Dundee event gone wrong.
Oh, it was for a movie.
Yeah, it was. So they basically changed that bar, let some crocodiles out, and they could never figure out how to get the crocodiles back in. So for, I think from 85 to 89, you could not enter that place. But
Wow.
a couple people
I
did.
miss when LA had animals.
Yeah, me
All
too.
over.
Oh, there used to be so many animals.
Oh my God.
Chimpanzees, where the gas stations were.
Do you remember when Soho House stood for Swordfish Horse House?
And you could get a nice slice of swordfish horse.
That was so fun because they had swordfish tank and a horse tank.
My mother used to visit from Maine, and I'd go straight to the Soho House and get her a swordfish horse. A nice slice.
It was so hard to get in. It was so hard to get in. I remember I had to call up my dad, Jamie Carson.
Jamie Carson Edgemont.
Right, Jamie Carson
Jamie
Edgemont.
Carson.
The famous astronaut builder
Oh,
slash
yeah.
talk show
Yes.
host.
Yes.
And he got me in, but it's tough. It's tough.
You know, I am thinking about the den right now and about all of the celebrity run-ins over the years I've had with different peoples and types. Oh, hey, get out of there!
Hey, motherfucker! I'll slice you like a swordfish horse.
Suck my ass, dude! So, celebrity encounters. Does
Oh, that's
anyone
so
have any that I
invigorating. You
remember?
can't say that anymore.
I know, it's nice. Anybody have
Celebrity encounters, yes. This city's different. People are angry. I saw John Cleese.
What year is this?
Spicy, hot, sexy man.
Now,
I
this
remember when
is
John Cleese was the hottest guy in Hollywood.
hot man. Very mean to me at a bar. I believe the bar was called Yokel's House, and now it's turned into a place called Sage Bistro. A mess. John Cleese walked up to me and he said, "Hey, Toots, how about I smack you in the face?" Now, that was back when men could say that. And then he did.
Wow.
And so was that the time when men could do that, or right before, right after?
So it was
I remember
around the
when it
time
was-
that
yes.
men could do that.
It was right when they weren't allowed. Almost.
And then he
not.
did
Yeah.
it.
And wow.
There was that gray area for about 7 months.
And then it
before
went
they
back.
decided,
You know,
yes.
it went back and forth. In
Yes.
the 80s,
Yes.
you couldn't do that, but in the 90s, you sort of could.
What's up in the
And without the internet, we didn't have a place to
Can we
type
go
out.
by- Can we go by the Troubadour?
Oh, please.
Is it right
Oh,
or
it's on the
left?
right. Take a right.
Oh, I love the troubadour.
Oh, yes.
You know, the Troubadour is originally where Walt Disney wanted Disneyland to be.
At the troubadour.
Really?
At the Troubadour. But
And
then
what
started.
changed?
Well,
I
he
think
started
they
to
didn't
put
have-
Frontierland in there, and then he
Oh.
realized, well, gosh darn it, this won't fit.
Oh.
My band used to play at the Troubadour.
Well, your band. Tell us about
You
your
have a
band, PJ.
band.
I was in a band from 81 to 89.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were called Surfin' USA. And
Oh.
Were you a cover band?
A West Side band.
we were a West Side cover band. We did Beach Boys. Okay, here are the cops. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? No, they're in front of us. They're in front of us. They're in front of us.
Well, I mean,
Okay,
oh
we're
no,
good.
he's gonna keep going.
Well, I don't think
PJ.
they can't possibly think that
Sorry.
all 4 Amber Alerts are from
What
in one car.
There's no way.
There's no way.
Also,
There
PJ.
were 4 separate Amber Alerts.
PJ, how uncool you just sounded. Talking about your band and being scared of the cops.
I'm terrified of the cops.
You bitch yourself, PJ.
Absolutely terrible. The cops are the reason why that band's not together anymore.
Oh, did you get arrested?
I got arrested, and the other 3 guys became cops.
Oh,
I'm
well, that's
terrified.
Oh, what a
So we
a
were a
real
West
shame.
Side
what a real
cover
third
band.
act.
West Side cover band, so we only did beach rock stuff, which was Beach Boys, which was basically just the Beach Boys.
I remember when they used to be Beach Men. That was different. Very different sound.
It's weird they went from men to boys.
They just wanted to appeal to be cuter, I think.
Just like that rap group from
Also,
Men
I
to
don't
Boys.
think the Troubadour is this way.
No, this was not the Troubadour.
Well, that's where the Troubadour was in the 70s. That's why we're driving
You
there.
could take a left up here into Beverly Hills.
Yes. Oh, the
Wow.
stories I have.
Tell us.
Tell
Hold
us
court,
one.
sister.
Oh, hold court. Hello, ding dong, holding court.
Get off. Get your hand off.
My, I'm a little handsy today.
Don't touch me.
You
there.
get me in Beverly Hills and I get touchy. Oh, well,
What are your stories about Beverly Hills?
You want to tell
Yeah,
them?
what were you doing,
You lost a lot of
say the
steam.
60s, late 60s? What was happening for you in Beverly Hills, Doc?
oh, I lost my dog in these areas, and that's why I get a little verklempt when we come in, because I still look for her. Her name was...
What a sad story.
her na-
You said you were getting handsy. I thought it was going to be,
I'm
rough
looking for my dog, Cloud. My dog's name was Cloud, and I'm getting handsy looking for my dog over here. You know, this whole area, the Wallace. I remember the Wallace right here. They built this to hand out corn and harvest goods. And now they have theater there, I believe.
What year was that?
1932.
Wow.
Wow.
You go
You're
back.
really old.
Now,
No.
can I ask you about the Great Depression in Los Angeles? What was that like?
Well, that was when my father started CPK.
Oh, it was born out of the Great Depression.
It was affordable pizza at the time because, you know, Los Angeles, it had only expensive pizza during the Great Depression. And my father
Right.
built CPK, a more California-based ingredients where you didn't have to go far. And you just had to, you could go local.
Nothing screams the Great Depression quite like that taco pizza at California Pizza Kitchen. To me.
No, that's my
Kung
father's
Pao
recipe.
spaghetti, very much a Great Depression dish. Because you can tell they just had what was there and they made it.
Yes, and my father was a drunkard, and he just put things on other things. He'd
Oh,
say
that's-
taco,
no.
taco ensalada, or he'd say fettuccine alfredo salad.
You know, I heard Red Lobster came up with the Dugarita out of the Great Depression.
Yes?
Really?
I've heard that
A
as
lot
well.
of chain restaurants came from the Great Depression because people wanted consistency back
I
then.
heard that's also how Buffalo Wild Wings got started.
Uh-huh.
It was, Great Depression.
And
They
the-
would eat anything, even buffalo wings.
Sprinkles
Even wild
cupcakes.
ones.
Sprinkles Cup.
Wild ones at that.
buffaloes.
So right over here,
Absolutely.
we're passing the Sprinkles cupcake vending machine. Were you
Oh.
guys verklempt or what when they came out with this?
I couldn't believe it. That
haven't-
kind of ruined it because right before there was a Sprinkles vending machine, there was the classic Pepsi vending machine.
And that was a man in a Pepsi machine who would hand you a Pepsi. And they don't do that anymore. That's
don't.
another American job killed.
I loved that. A
So can I
man.
ask Edgemont, who are you voting for?
Oh, I'm a little bit of this, I'm a little bit of that. Libertarian one year, then I flip to Green Party, back to Libertarian, do a little tango with the President's Party, do a little salsa with the United People's Party, and then sometimes I write in a president of a different country who's already elected just to see if they'll switch, because I think that Justin Trudeau would do a fabulous job if he wanted to take over.
Yeah, I also agree with that.
You know,
I
we
also-
just passed the Cheesecake Factory in Beverly Hills, and I always feel like I see myself a little bit like that.
What do you mean,
A
Herb?
Cheesecake Factory in Beverly Hills?
Like, I feel like I'm kind of a normal guy, and then I look around and I'm like, well, how did I get here?
Oh, wow. That
You feel
you're just
transported.
a consistent, bland, not original thing.
Well, just the,
like
you
a
know,
loser.
not fancy, not dressed up. No.
Like
No.
Beverly Hills area of beauty and fun, and you're the Cheesecake Factory.
No,
like a
dude.
loser.
No, dude. That's not what I'm saying.
It's like, it makes my hair stand up on its head when you say it like that.
I'm trying to say, can you show me how to say it?
Dude.
Dude.
I think you're both wrong. It's dude.
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 I saw a resident young person
Our
over
the-
here
our
driving
beach
the car.
boy.
I'm not young. I'm 67.
beach man.
A beach
No,
boy.
someday you'll understand when you're older.
How older is everybody else?
Oh, gosh.
Oof.
I mean, if I had a nickel for every year I've been alive, I'd have...
Yeah. I mean, turn me around twice, count how many times I blinked, and then you'll know.
20's $1 for the record. 20 nickels is $1.
Nickels is a
So if
dollar.
that helps.
Okay, so we have that. Okay, so... Okay, so I'd have...
So cheap.
Rodeo Drive.
Rodeo Drive.
I'd have $3.80.
Rodeo Drive. Remember when you used to be able to drive this drive?
Oh,
Oh,
say
now
it,
they're making us
sister.
get out of the car and walk
yeah,
it if
so
we
we
want
have
to go to the
get
good
out.
part.
If I go any farther, we have to get out.
We raced cars on Rodeo Drive back then.
Yeah, we race card.
Oh, do you remember the bumper cars on Alvarado?
Oh, I
Oh,
love the bumper
missed those
cars.
so
It was a
much.
place you can go to just let it out.
Oh,
Just let it out. They let you go on the 2 freeway back then.
Oh gosh, I remember I went there when there was the big Iranian hostage crisis. I was so stressed out about that. I went and I just bumper carred for like 6 hours, man.
I feel when the Cuban Missile Crisis happened, I was so stressed. I rode those bumper cars for days.
Yeah. That's like for me, but when Reagan was shot, that was
Oh, yeah.
really
Oh, yes.
stressful.
No, you like
it
Reagan?
happened to me recently when the Me Too movement happened. I just wanted to get in a bumper car.
Oh,
Oh, which side were you on?
I told my granddaughter, I said, oh God, it's a manhunt.
Oh, that one. You're on that side.
I said, they're out for the men. And I asked my granddaughter to bring me to a bumper car. She had no idea what that was.
Because now that intersection is Burrito King and that American Apparel sign.
A real shame.
PJ, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, please.
Are we on Wilshire right now?
We are not on Wilshire yet,
Okay.
but we're about to be.
What do you guys think of Wilshire? Real talk. Be honest.
I like.
Unfiltered.
Be honest, I think she's a cunt.
Oh, Donnie, we can always count on you to go rogue.
We're all going rogue, but
West, standing in the middle of the road. It was like we didn't even have to talk to each other. We knew what we had to do.
Get in the car and grab those mics.
Well, you guys I was already in the car, buckled in my
Should we
little
go
car
all the way
seat.
down?
No.
Okay.
Where?
I think we could head back to the east side, back where,
We should.
Back where the children's hospital is.
yes,
Let's go back.
and back where the Hollywood Bowl used to be.
Oh, I
loved when it was just UCB Sunset, where the
Yes.
Target is.
Yes, the Hollywood Bowl.
I did like that UCB sunset.
Oh, me
Oh,
too.
God.
It was great. They really utilized the space so well.
I saw a show there where everyone was high. It was such a novelty.
I loved that show. It was so interesting to see these performers perform high.
Oh, I would
agree.
catch my husband in the sanctum area playing cards with little boys. All the time.
I saw a show.
Was he Me Too?
I saw a show at UCB Sunset where the host of the Netflix show Nailed It pulled out a butt plug out of her butt.
That's very interesting. I saw a show where one of the girls from the Progressive commercials shoved a butt plug up another man's butt.
Well, I saw a show where about 75 improvisers recreated Grease, and it was awful.
What is your favorite thing about Los Angeles? Something you can always count on.
Well, for me, I guess I'd say the waves. The waves of the ocean, the waves of the city, the waves of relationships, the waves of everything. You know, I think I find myself always looking at LA in its waves and finding myself riding it every year, every day, just trying to not be a driver anymore, you know?
Yes.
That's very poetic.
Well put.
I think for me, the thing I love the most about LA, most consistent thing is its people. And namely, they don't seem to know what to do with me. And
Pray tell, Herky, why?
I can rely on that like I can rely on the sun. I'll say something and people don't understand it. They say, "Why are you sitting in that car seat?"
And you find peace in being misunderstood.
You have to kind of, if you get hit by the ocean so many times, you have to just come to terms with the fact that you're all wet. Do you know what I mean?
Is that I 100% understand what you mean, but do you mean literally? Have you been hit by the ocean? Has somebody been leaving you at the ocean?
I have been hit by the ocean. I have been hit by not just a wave, the whole ocean feels like. I mean, I'm a little man, so it feels like it all jumps up on me. I will just say, LA is a great place to be a little weirdo. Because people are used to that, and you know,
You
I'm
can
one
never
of
be the
those-
weirdest person on the street.
No, me and my friends put on our Tommy Bahama shirts, and we put on our khaki shorts and our flip-flops, and we go to Jinkies in Studio City, and then we walk around the valley, and we just kind of talk to people that are sitting on buses and stuff, and
Oh, God, there used to be a Jinkies on every street corner.
I know.
Oh, remember, and speaking of Studio City, remember Farty Talk Talk,
Farty Talk Talk? Yeah.
Farty Talk Talk, the cigarette store?
Yes.
Sorry, it took me a while to
Not
get there.
in Studio City, though.
No.
Okay, my
What-
favorite
yeah.
thing about Los Angeles that is the same and always the same is that I like that it's different than New York, the city that never sleeps. I like that Los Angeles sleeps. I like
Los
that
Angeles sleeps in. It's true.
I like it. I
New York,
like
the
it.
city that never sleeps. LA, the city that never wakes up.
No, not quite my point,
Okay.
but
Okay, I thought it was
not
just,
quite my
I thought
point.
it was a
I
cool
just
line.
I like that it can be so alive sometimes and also so fucking dead. I love being here on like a Tuesday night, not being able to find anything because everybody's closed because they went too hard and did too much ketamine and coke this weekend, and all the taco trucks are gone.
I have not run into that problem.
I like that it ebbs and it flows. I love that LA will be buzzing 1 minute, asleep another.
Mm.
Have you ever been here during the Coachella weekends?
Oh,
It is
yeah.
so
No,
damn
I go
quiet.
to Coachella. I've been to Coachella ever
quiet.
since it started.
It's like you picked the city and you moved it up, and I find it so fun to let the waves and let the wind pass through.
I like the palm trees.
Okay.
I've always been quite fond of the palm trees.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite thing.
Mm.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, here comes the cops pulling us over for something.
I'm sorry, guys. I had to text my sister-in-law.
No, you didn't.
They're coming to
Herb.
pick me up. I've had such a... First of all, my name has been Herky this whole time.
All old men are herb to me.
Okay.
Herky, I'm so sorry.
Can we do this again? Can we all please go to Good Neighbor Diner in Universal City and sit around and read the newspaper or something?
Let's get sandwiches and sit in front of the Universal City water fountain.
Yes, let's ride the bull at that Western restaurant in
Blazing Saddles.
Yes, in Blazing Saddles. Let's see who can stay on the bull the longest.
Oh,
God, that's when I feel most alive.
Let's break bread at Diddy Reese.
If there's one thing we can all agree on, Universal City has never and will never change.
It's been like that since the beginning, and it will never change.
Let's break bread at Bubba Gump.
Oh, I love the sock store at City Walk.
My favorite is the candy store that's been there since the 20s.
I'm an honorary Duke of Popcornopolis.
Yes, you are, Herky. Now get out of the car, please.
Oh, it's
Come
my
with me.
sister-in-law.
We've got them. All 4 of them are together.
They didn't need to bring the helicopter this time.
Stay where you are.
I have to. I'm buckled in.
Oh, God. They're all the way over here.
You know, they didn't used to have helicopters.
God, fuck, it's the cops. It's the fucking cops. Oh my God, I gotta go.
Oh my God! How did they get to Anaheim?
We've been in Anaheim this whole time.
I love Anaheim.
It's changed so much.
Where a man can be a man.
This has been Artist on Artist on Artist on Artist on Artist answering the question. Now that's why they call it showbiz.
That's the troubadour.
Hi, I'm Angela Geritana.
I'm Jeremy Colhane.
I'm Patrick McDonald.
And I'm Kylie Brakeman. Artists on Artists on Artists on Artists is an improvised Hollywood Roundtable podcast available on iTunes and Spotify.
You can follow us at AOAOAOA Pod on Twitter and Instagram.
That's right, 4 A's with 3 O's in between, then pod.
Music for this week's episode was provided by Gabriel Ponton.
Stars, they're just like us. And if you like this episode, you can give us 5 of them by rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. That's all for now. Good night, Hollywood.